There are still some good pitching options on the market, good starting pitching options on the market, with Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery being at the top of them. It's not as simple as they're good pitchers, so let's sign them though. There are multiple reasons giving out big contracts to pitchers, whether it's one of them or someone else can be risky. As good as a guy like Blake Snell was in 2023, winning his second Cy Young Award, is it sustainable? Will he be worth committing to and spending a lot of money on? And he's also 30 years old. There are a lot of mechanical and overall result questions when it comes to signing them, except for one. Trevor Bauer. When it comes to Trevor Bauer, I know, you know, he knows, everybody knows that he's a short-term option. Nobody is signing him long-term, so the commitment isn't the issue. And neither really is the money, but rather, of course, the PR situation. How much backlash will the team get? Will the fans mostly be on board or not? Will the other players on the team be okay with it? This has actually always been a slight problem with Bauer throughout the course of his entire career. Not even when the original whole sexual assault allegation came to light, with multiple others to follow. Bauer has always been on the more controversial side. Bauer's always been an outcast, at least according to him. He got bullied when he was younger, was doubted by a lot of people, and since making it to the big leagues had always been doing or saying some stuff here and there that rubbed people the wrong way. He had to be taken out of a playoff game because his finger was bleeding. Why was his finger bleeding? Because of a drone accident off the field. He's had some public arguments with random fans on social media, disrespected baseball legend Terry Francona on the field during a game by throwing the ball into center field rather than handing it to Francona, his manager. So people already hated the guy. Then the first and biggest allegation comes forward, and Bauer has yet to throw a big league pitch in 2.5 years. So with all of that added context, the hate that Bauer gets compared to other players who'd gotten accused of something bad makes sense when you see the bias a lot of people already had against him. He's already been one of the more outspoken players and people in the game, not afraid to tell the entire world what he's thinking, and again, it's rubbed many people the wrong way. Many believe Rob Manfred gave Bauer the longest suspension in history, not because of the legal situation, but more so because he and the league had a personal gripe against Bauer, who'd been very outspoken on Major League Baseball with the way they'd handled things, like the sticky stuff saga, rule changes, stuff like that. And it's not that far-fetched. But regardless, Bauer isn't suspended anymore and has been eligible to be on a Major League team since last year, when nobody signed him even for just the league minimum, forcing him to go to Japan to play for a year. Well, Trevor Bauer is back in the US now and attempting to get back into the big leagues, and he's also just apologized. Bauer just went on Fox News for an interview to speak about everything, basically. What happened, the details on some stuff, and did something I don't think he's ever actually done, to this extent at least. He straight up apologized, in at least a seemingly remorseful way, not for sexually assaulting anyone, as he'd state he's never sexually assaulted anyone and never will. When the other allegations brought forth against him were brought up, Bauer said that they were going to win those cases too. Bauer was then asked why he thinks Major League Baseball did what they did, with Bauer responding in a way I don't think many of us have ever really seen, emphasizing how sorry he was. Watch.
I'm not sure exactly why they did what they did. I know that I've made mistakes. That's kind of what I'm trying to focus on. How do I get better from the experiences that I've had? Made mistakes in my personal life. I'm really detail oriented when it comes to baseball and my training, but I didn't apply the same level of scrutiny to my personal life. I made mistakes. I agreed to do things that I shouldn't have done. It was reckless. It hurt a lot of people along the way. Made things very difficult for Major League Baseball, for the Dodgers, my teammates, friends, family, people close to me. So I've done a lot of reflecting on that and made a lot of changes in my life to address that. Not having casual sexual relationships anymore, for example. I also made a lot of people in the media mad. I was very immature with how I handled things when people would write things about me that I didn't agree with. I should have just had a private adult conversation with someone. I was bullied a lot as a kid and don't really want to get into that, but at the time I viewed my responses on social media as like standing up for myself and having a voice, and I think that was just an immature.
So you think you're a new person?
I've grown up a lot, for sure.
You have? You've matured on this?
Yeah. My viewpoints now are drastically different than they were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Yeah. Things are more, different things are important to me. I just try to reflect accurately on how I can be better, what caused me to do the things that I do, so I can address those in my life and handle them in a way that I'm more proud of in the future. I'm certainly taking accountability for my role in this. I've put myself in a lot of positions that have made things very hard for people, and I'm trying to be better. Yes, myself, but a lot of the people around me, I think, are more important than the how hard it's been on me personally.
So this is pretty interesting. Bauer's always been a very headstrong guy. Maybe you can call him cocky at times. Someone who likes to have fun and never a guy who went out of his way to, I guess, quote unquote, be the bigger person. He didn't stay away from controversy. He embraced it. But things have seemed to change, at least with this interview. He's obviously taking responsibility for a lot of what's gone on in the past, holding himself accountable for it. It seems like Bauer's really worked on maturing and growing up, especially when he said his viewpoints are drastically different than they were 5 or 10 years ago. The most eye-opening thing to me he said here was that he's really detail-oriented when it comes to baseball and his training, but he didn't apply the same level of scrutiny to his personal life. He also went a tad deeper on that in an interview with Outkick.
My interactions with women, I was just completely undisciplined in my personal life. I'm very detail-oriented when it comes to baseball, but I didn't apply the same level of scrutiny to my personal life. People would slide into my DMs, I'd let them into my life. I didn't keep my circle small, agree to do things that I shouldn't have done, and they were reckless, put a lot of people in harm's way. There's a lot of collateral damage from this situation, made things hard on my teammates, my friends, family, the Dodgers organization, Major League Baseball as a whole, a lot of other people as well. Made some changes in my life to address that, not having like casual sexual relationships anymore, keeping my circle very close and limiting the people that I talk to.
And that's a really important lesson for any athlete or anyone in the public eye. You gotta put thought and effort into how you go about yourself beyond your career, because those personal things can come back to bite you, like they did, of course, here with Bauer. But overall, this was different. Bauer hasn't really done any interviews like this in a long time, and I don't remember the guy ever being this remorseful over anything, so he's clearly at least trying to do his part to make amends and take accountability where he feels he should take it, like a lot of the way he's handled things in the past. After having a great year in Japan, it's pretty clear Bauer's talent is still there, and he'd be a good pickup strictly as a player for any team wanting a pitcher. But would he be a good pickup for any team wanting him as the person too? As of now, nobody seems interested in that. But then again, Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery are still on the market, so it's just been a slow offseason for everyone. And time will tell if Bauer makes it back into the big leagues. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.